guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today I'm super excited finally to be able to do a video. So we're still under construction. We had drywallers in here and painting. You can hear the echo, but we're not done painting by any stretch. And then next we'll be tearing this all out. So it's gonna get pretty interesting here soon. I'm hoping that it doesn't delay videos, but if there's a gap between the videos, that is why. And once I feel like I can take you on a little bit of a tour, yeah, because we knocked walls out, put big, huge support beam in, added a baking set or took a bathroom out, moved it, and made a powder room over there, and and put in a coat closet and a pantry. So it's going to be real nice and open, but it has taken some time. So I'm gonna make pumpkin snickerdoodles. So this is like a bonus PumpkinPalooza video because pumpkin snickerdoodles are so good. And they're so chewy, and and my recipe for this is, it's got cream cheese, so that makes it even better. It adds to that little bit of a tang that your acid from the cream of tartar also gives. So that's the secret in snickerdoodles, is the cream of tartar. So I think I've got everything out. We're gonna get started. I've already softened my cream cheese and my butter. So let's get to the recipe, and I'll leave that down below. I'll type it out for you so you'll have the recipe yourself. All right, come on in, let's do this. Okay, so in my bowl, I'm going to start with half a block of cream cheese, and gotta get this turned over a little bit. I used part of it for a different recipe, and so we've got our cream cheese. We need a cup of softened butter, and softened means room temperature, softened. And I've got a room temperature duck egg. Now this was in the fridge, so I just put it in lukewarm water for about 5 minutes, and that gets it right to where you need it. So we're gonna go ahead with this and get this butter in here. This is perfect. And when it calls for softened butter, you wanna make sure that's what you're using. Save these papers because you can grease a pan with it. Typically, I will fold them up and put them in a sandwich bag and put them in the freezer. And I have them if I need them. So we want that, set that aside, get my hands wiped off. And we're gonna cream the sugars and the butter. Oh, and of course I forgot brown sugar. I'll be right back. I think I'm ready. So you'll want the cup of butter, half a brick of cream cheese, 1 cup of white granulated sugar, and a half a cup of firmly packed brown sugar. You'll need that. And we're gonna cream this together. Then we're gonna get our other ingredients in. This is gonna be so good. So this might get a little loud, but you really wanna cream it till it's fluffy. And really well incorporated. The color will change. I've got my cord is plugged into a temporary outlet, so I don't have as good a reach, but better than if I had the Bosch up here. So I'm just gonna continue, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done creaming this. So now we're going to do our pumpkin puree, our egg, and this is fresh pumpkin, so they're gonna look a little bit lighter than a pumpkin. If you use canned pumpkin, I recommend you use a really good brand. So we're gonna do this a little tricky, on the tricky side. So let's see if I can find a cute little spatula in here somewhere. And we'll get this done. Okay, so we need 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree. So squeeze some out. And this, I roasted this pumpkin, and this is just a regular jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. You don't need any clean hands, so just in case you're concerned. You don't need pie pumpkins. To me, they taste the same. A pumpkin is a pumpkin. So there's a 1/2 cup. Now I'm going to do about half of that. 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree. So let's squeeze out what we think looks like half of that. These recipes, cookie recipes, are so forgiving. The only thing that's not forgiving on this is the time that it needs to, oh, I need a little bit more, for this to set back up. So you can, they need to be cold, if that makes sense. Okay, so 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree, whether it's canned or fresh. I prefer fresh whenever possible. That's why I freeze so much. And let me, yeah, it's worth taking the time to do the freezing. And then we need our egg. Now, 1 large egg, but if I have access to it, I always use duck eggs for baking because they have a lot of moisture. They're just wonderful. They make the best baked goods. So I'm trying to clean up here as I go. So you want room temperature. That's pretty important. And let's go into, well, I don't want to put it in that measuring cup. Let's go into the pumpkin one. Just in case that's a bad egg, I don't want to waste my, I get these though, my neighbor. I actually got to feed the duck some of the pumpkin guts. Now I roasted the, but look at that beautiful, beautiful egg. Just a big yellow yolk. She got to eat some of the pumpkin insides the other day when I took egg cartons down and picked up eggs. Okay, so now we have to get this incorporated. So I'm gonna get this off my spatula because I did have to scrape the bowl down. You want it really to look all one homogeneous, creamy, yeah. And then again with the mixer, get this mixed up and then we'll get to our dry ingredients. Okay, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I like to get the start of that. Measure with your heart. Measure with your heart. Okay, what did I do with the lid? This is a vanilla blend, but I really like it, so I don't know. I bought it by accident, and here we go. Get this mixed in. Okay, now I think I can set this aside for a hot minute. I hope. Okay, there's that. Now we're gonna get our dry ingredients, which let's leave that over there. Oh, I got cookie dough everywhere where it shouldn't be. Okay. You actually should be using a really deep bowl. Let me see if this light helps put some light on the subject, maybe a little bit. Nope, that light isn't even working. Okay, never mind. Some of the electrical has been taken out or is going to be for something else. And I think that switch is now, because these pendant lights are gonna be gone. I think that switch is dedicated for a garbage disposal. So we want 2 1/4 cups or 2 3/4 cups of flour. 2, and we'll say 3/4 cups. There we go. Remember, we have lots of creamy goodness in here. So we want to make sure we can manage all that. Now, keep my flour clean. Then we're going to put in, we need cream of tartar. That is actually very important that you do that. And that's 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar. So we're going to use the 1/2 teaspoon because, well, it'll fit in here, number one. Number two, the teaspoon wet measurement's already 1, 2, and 1/2. Oops, and 1/2. There we go. 1.5, sorry. And we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm using just a fine sea salt. I don't, I do like to have my salt be finer when I'm baking. It blends in much better. We need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So 1 and 2, because this is a 1/2 teaspoon measurement. And I also like to add a little bit, because sometimes I add ginger, sometimes I add apple pie spice. Today, it's apple pie spice, about 1/2 teaspoon of apple pie spice. We need baking powder, and your baking powder is, or I'm sorry, baking soda. We don't even need baking powder. So let's get the baking soda. I don't know why I put it out there. And baking soda is going to be 1/2 teaspoon. And that'll react with that acid. Oh, it makes the cookies so chewy and delicious. Whoop, that's not a fit. There we go. We've got this. I like to get the lids back on when I can because I don't want to mess, right? Because that's when stuff happens. And then we need some nutmeg. So that is going to be 1/2 teaspoon, and I just grate it. And it's a measure with your heart. But in this particular recipe, it is absolutely necessary. Okay. Yeah, and we shaved off a little bit. Those are just wonderful. Okay. And I believe now we're gonna get our Danish whisk and get that all mixed together. And hopefully this bowl is going to work out okay. It might be a little small, but we're gonna be mixing, woo, there we go, with the Danish whisk, so we'll be all right. Okay. So you're gonna get everything incorporated. Oh. And if you need to, get your spatula over here, but it literally will come together. You just have to be a little patient. And a bigger bowl would have been a good idea. A really, really good idea. I need my mixing bowls. It's gonna be fun when we're doing this in the bake center, or at least getting things put together in my little baking area. So your dough is coming together, and you can roll out your cookies and then put them on a sheet and then get them in the fridge. Or you can just put this dough in the refrigerator, minimum a half an hour. In fact, sometimes I'll even put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Half an hour in the fridge, 10 minutes in the, oh yeah, see, we got our dough is perfect, but it's very soft and it's gonna be very sticky to work with on your hands. So let's just get this cleaned up. And we'll put this in the refrigerator. I'll cover this up with some saran plastic wrap. Get off of me. And we will put this, get this nice and chilled. Like I said, about a half hour and then 10 minutes, a little bit longer in the freezer. We'll get you a dough that you can scoop out and work with. And okay, here's that. And let me rinse my hands and we're good to go. And then I can get to the topping, or the, not the topping, but the, what we're gonna roll our cookies in. Okay, for our, what we're gonna roll our cookies in when we get them rolled into balls is a cinnamon and sugar mixture. And that's what comes, makes the outside kind of a little crispy. The salt or the sugar gets crispy. Oh, it's so good. So this 1/4 cup of sugar to 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And if you so choose, you can put the nutmeg on the outs in there too, but I'm gonna leave it out this time. You can grate a little bit of nutmeg. Sometimes I'll put ginger in there. Sometimes you just mix that up. That's gonna go on the outside. That's kind of that signature, oh my gosh, I love snickerdoodles. It's like one of my favorite cookies, only because the cream cheese and the cream of tartar just make that interior so chewy and delicious. All right, let's get, well, now all we gotta do is wait and do the dishes. Let me clean up and I'll be back. Okay, here we go. The dough, I had it in the freezer for the last, you know, it just wasn't getting cold enough. So I don't have my cookie scoop. I'm not gonna worry about it. I have my cinnamon and sugar. So we're gonna scoop off what we think is, oh yeah, this is perfect. So you want your dough nice and cold, where you can roll it without it sticking or warming up too much. And you're gonna roll it in this sugar mixture, just like that. Make sure you get a good coat of that. And we're gonna put those on there. This is literally how easy this is. And if it starts sticking to your hands a little bit, just, yeah. Oh, look at that. Snickerdoodles are such good cookies and everybody loves them. Well, I do have one friend that's allergic to cinnamon. Who knew people could have that? So, not her, which is too bad. Okay, so you want your dough as cold as you can, but yet still work it, and don't try to get in there too long, because if you handle it too much, obviously the cream cheese and the butter is going to melt. So this is what I'll be doing until I am done, and we'll get to going here. If you guys want to see progress tour on the house, leave me a comment in the comment section, and leave me a comment if you've ever made pumpkin snickerdoodles before. The pumpkin is so mild that it doesn't take over, trust me. Canned pumpkin more so than fresh pumpkin, because canned pumpkin, it has, I don't know if it's the variety of pumpkins they use, but yeah. And I could add, you know, a little bit of red food coloring to make mine have more of that color, but I don't want to do that. That's not the purpose behind using fresh pumpkin. Okay, so let's get these cookies. Oh, there's one already rolled up. Okay, we're just gonna keep it rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. Okay, yeah, no singing. Okay. Sometimes I crack myself up. Okay. Ooh, I can't wait. These are going in a preheated 350-degree oven, and you're gonna get in there and bake these for, usually, depending on your oven, it's 10 to 12 minutes, but if your oven, it runs hot or cold or whatever, you're gonna have some variation. Make sure you get a good coating of that sugar on there. This one I feel like didn't get enough. I don't know why I feel like that, but okay. A couple more on this tray, and this is what I'll be doing while you guys are waiting for the end result, and it'll be coming right up. So, do you guys make snickerdoodles for the holidays, or do you do them any time of the year? It seems like the holidays is when I make snickerdoodles, because it is a labor of love. You're not joking when you say it takes a little time. So there's my balls of love, and I'm gonna wash my hands, get those in the oven, and start this tray. Okay, so the first batch are coming out, and you don't want to over brown these. You want to, it's 10 to 12 minutes. These were in there 11. Let them cool, and these are the perfect little cookie. We're gonna end up with just over 3 dozen. So had I had a cookie scoop, but these came out pretty good size. I'm super excited to taste them, and snickerdoodles are one of my favorites. So I've already got some new balls all rolled out here. And they don't spread so much because they're cold, they stay just the way they're supposed to. And I love that about snickerdoodles. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if I can I think I can. And then we still have 2 left. Okay. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. So that's 3 dozen plus 5. So this, as soon as the next batch is done out of the oven, these will be, so ready for a taste test. And like I said, just make sure that the bottom of your cookie doesn't get too brown. Whoopsie. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited. You ready for a taste test? Okay, guys, so the cookies are done. It literally made 41 cookies, so a little over 3 dozen. And I'm telling you, they smell amazing. This little pumpkin, I actually grew this in a grow bag out front. So it's the only pumpkin I grew, but I thought, oh, it's so cute on this little holiday tray. I will be taking a whole tray of these to work, and then we'll have cookies too. I wanted to let you know, if you wanted to ball them up, you could totally freeze that, just like that. And then when you take them out of the freezer, roll them in the sugar and cinnamon, and they're good to bake. And my oven, I adjusted it back up to 375. I wish I would have had it on there the whole time. And I'm looking for a tiny cookie, and there's none tiny. There's none tiny. Well, here's a little one. But we're light brown on the bottom. And let's get you gotta see this. Oh, yes. Yum. Okay. Yes, please. If you can hear that, it's because the exterior with the cinnamon and sugar gives it some crunch. But let me just tell you, the inside is soft and chewy. And delightful. And the pumpkin is not in your face. It is very faint in the background, mainly because I use fresh pumpkin. Fresh pumpkin has a very subtle taste compared to canned pumpkin. I'm not sure the variety that Libby's uses to can pumpkin, but if you're going to use, and this makes the cookie healthier because you're getting a vegetable in there, and root vegetables are one of the best things you can consume because of all the vitamins and minerals that they pull out of the soil and whatever nutrients you've given that plant, it's all concentrated in those winter vegetables. So don't hesitate to use pumpkin. No one will ever know, but these are divine. It's just a hint of that pumpkin. So towards the end of the month, when you're getting tired of pumpkin this and pumpkin that, these are a hit. Anytime. I think I'm just going to put pumpkin in them every time. Delightful. If you would like to see my recipe for apple snickerdoodles, let me know in the comments below. And if you make snickerdoodles and you do something different, also just type it down below, because everybody that looks at those comments can glean from your knowledge as well as myself. And I so appreciate this community. I appreciate all the comments, and I truly appreciate these cookies. All right, guys, I can't wait to see you next time. Quite possibly doing something else with pumpkin, because PumpkinPalooza is on its way. All right, bye. These cookies are so soft and chewy. I hope you try them, and I hope you'll leave me a comment if you have tried them before.